The following is a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. Hollywood Redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is Black Hollywood Live, the Black Tea Party, featuring weekly discussions on political news and current affairs. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood Redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host of Black Hollywood Live, the Black Tea Party.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Where's Marvin? There's Marvin.
I don't hear Marvin there. Oh,
There's Marvin.
Right.
Marvin's coming
I
up.
realize I don't. You're right.
Oh man. Well. First off, let me apologize to our listeners because originally we were supposed to have retired LAPD Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey, a 20-year vet of the LAPD, retired on August 26th, year 2000. So I had a lot of questions for her because she's seen so much in LA. Daryl Gates, one to say the least, but
oh wow,
she goes back.
Damn.
She goes back through a lot of police chiefs.
Right.
But anyway, this is another episode of Black Tea Party on Black Hollywood Live. My name is Ron Moore. I am your host, and joining me across the table,
hi guys.
Mr. Michael T. by Miss Stacy Ike. Mike, how you doing today?
Doing good. She's not wearing headphones, and I don't think I'm allowed to say anything because
What?
Yeah,
I can still hear you.
can't talk about a girl in her hair.
She can't. She's got the thing on her. You got the jury on your ear though.
It's not fair to be a part of it. I can still hear Mike. I know he thinks I can't, but I can't.
Mike's talking trash around you next to you.
I know, right? What's up? I missed you guys.
Missed you too. Look at you. You bring your beauty back into the studio. We haven't seen you in
I
forever.
had to love you guys. I had to be a part of it. But you know what's funny? Because you're saying you missed me, but last week you didn't call me out at all. So what's up with that?
No,
I tagged you in tweets.
Yeah, we did.
You
we
did,
That
but
did
that's
happen.
not-
That
I watched
happened.
the
I
entire
retweeted
show.
him.
Whatever.
I retweeted him. Listen, it was a little different last week because
was,
last
I
week
know.
we had Don coming live from New York
know.
on Skype.
I loved
That
it.
was a little bit sketchy at
Right,
times,
right,
but
right.
yeah. So and there was no Marvin. We started with no Marvin Gaye.
There was no point though. Like you needed to go straight. I mean, the show was awesome last week. I loved it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be better this week because you're here.
Because I'm here. Yeah, you're so cute. I love it.
See?
I like how you swooped that in there. Good stuff. Brownie points.
Gotta be slick, baby.
Right.
Anyway, okay, so this week we were going to talk a lot about police brutality, and we were going to actually have a actual retired policeman to bounce those ideas off of. But because we don't, we're going to go head up with some Bill Cosby talk. Because we haven't had a chance to really delve into that. Yeah, I
Hey,
know.
no jokes. Can we do it without jokes?
It's going to be
I'll
hard.
try.
Please.
Yeah,
because-
two comedians are in the room.
I know, but I just feel like
my best.
okay. Let me get Mike's perspective first on
Yeah.
Bill Cosby because I have really missed hearing what you guys have to say about it.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
what
we
do you
haven't.
think?
Well, okay, to put in perspective, Cosby for a long time was my all-time favorite comic.
Right.
Like, to put in perspective how much I like Bill Cosby, my mom's dog name is Cosby, and I named him.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
So
You're
I'm
kidding.
not coming from this weird place. Like, I really loved past tense, Bill Cosby. It's tough now. I watched himself like not long ago, and that was rough. Now it's
Dennis
tough.
joke's
It's
a
still
little
good.
different now.
I have to
Yeah.
learn from him. He's like. The weird thing with Bill Cosby, this isn't a joke. He's like the comedians now. He's our Roman Polanski. Like, you can't be a film student and not watch Roman
true.
Polanski.
Yeah.
That is
And
true.
he's a terrible person as well. And I know we have to wait. We're supposed to wait and see what. First of all, there's never going to be a trial. He already paid off one woman. And when this many people come forward, it's really, really hard to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, it's not just benefit of the doubt that I'm looking for. It's also like, when do we decide that he has no choice but to say something? Like, when do we have a... Because he still hasn't
He's
said
still,
anything.
yeah, but he hasn't said anything because he's also, if he says something, he could be up for civil suits. He can't be prosecuted. He's outside the statute
Yeah.
of limitations when it comes to
That's
criminal
it.
prosecution,
Right.
but he still could be prosecuted, or they could bring a case against him civilly.
So if he doesn't say anything, then he's avoiding the case altogether?
He's
Or
doing
can they
better
still
at
do it
avoiding.
any?
They can. It's harder. If he says something, it's easier to pinpoint things.
So even if he says, I didn't do it, they can still decide, okay, we're going to go with suit for this.
I guess. Every legal thing I've read is that the reason he's not talking is because a civil suit still could come forward. So why we're hearing, like, everyone's confused. Like, why doesn't he just say he didn't do it? I don't exactly understand why, because when it comes to law, it's a lot of bullshit to me. But he can be held accountable for what he says at all.
Even if he says, I didn't have anything, I didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
We have an AP thing where he just avoided the question. And then obviously we saw that afterwards. They're like, hey, cut this out. And he threatened the guy's job. So I'm pretty sure.
Bill Cosby has a lot of power in entertainment. He's had a lot of power since the 80s
More power
in
than I
entertainment.
totally expected. Because everyone keeps going back to it and saying it's about power and money, Stacy. And I'm like, what power? I'm not saying Bill Cosby isn't. I mean, he's amazing. Yeah. But is his power bigger than, I mean, who are we talking? Who are we comparing him to?
If you look at his producer credits.
Yeah.
That's what I'm so confused.
Cosby Inc. was a real thing in the 80s.
Right,
so you have to look at it from the standpoint of he's the Michael Jordan of black sitcoms, pretty much.
Stand-up comedy.
Period sitcoms. The Cosby Show was one of the biggest sitcoms of all times.
Right.
It took an animated TV show to bring the Cosbys down. Right. So that's how huge he was. Like I said, he is the Michael Jordan of sitcoms.
Yeah.
And when Michael Jordan, there are a lot of stories about Michael Jordan that came out after the fact, after his career ended, that people didn't know about. People didn't know about, everybody guessed about the women and all of that stuff. And that's, that's inconsequential, whatever. Yeah. But there's also the story about him, what was it, John Paxson or Steve Kerr? They punched and gave him a black eye at practice.
Here's a really, I just listened to this yesterday. It was just a thing on YouTube, and it was Howard Stern talking about Cosby. Yeah. And they brought up audio from Janice Dickinson. And Janice Dickinson, about 2006, I'm terrible, 8 years ago, she said there was a powerful guy, and she would not say his name. She's like, I'm still scared that he could come back. And she basically described exactly what she described now. Yeah. Except now she's using his name because she feels safe because of all these people coming. And that audio to me is so damning.
Is it? Wow.
So she like describes what happened, which is with everybody else, except nobody else was talking about it. So, and she didn't use his name. But now that she's come forward and she's used the descriptions, it's hard not to.
My only thing is like it's really hard not to say, or to say like, oh, he didn't do it. I'm not there at all. I know when it first came out, I had a comment on Facebook. Both of you both commented about it. I had a status that said I would really die if this was true. And you said, I can't wait to go to your funeral. Thank you, Mike. And and you said why he's flawed, blah, blah. I had to reread those comments just a couple of days ago to remember what other people said. And I'm not in the place where I know if he did it or not. I think there's a lot of evidence against him. But my only thing is, why now? Like, it's so hard, because I hope that, I mean, we're probably going to talk about the UV case as well, but it's really hard when a woman comes out at a certain time to not judge her for, especially as a woman, I hate to say this, but judge her for the time or for whatever, or like who she is. When Janice Dickinson come on, no offense, but that's not Bae, okay? She's not, she's not.
When she was back then, she was the shit.
No, I know, but I'm saying she was the girl, but I'm saying now the Janice Dickinson we know, we don't love as much. We don't really.
Sure, but that doesn't take away from what he did.
Absolutely not.
Who knows how much that contributed to her later.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
Real quick. Yeah. As a comedian, when did you find out Bill Cosby was a terrible person?
Wait, what? That's a crazy question.
No. That was the first thing to fall for me. Yeah. That was the first myth that I was like, oh yeah, he's kind of racist against white people and biracial people. He treats people poorly. You hear about it from comics.
You've heard from comics for a while.
Too. Yeah. And they've seen people do things to other people. That was one of the first things that fell for me.
People knew in the comedy circles, in the comedy world, comics talk. It's a big community, but it's a small community. Yeah. And once you got the right connections, stories start coming down from the top. And Bill Cosby was at the top. And when you start finding out about all of these people, Patton Oswalt even came out a couple of weeks ago saying comedians have known about this for 20 years.
Oh, it's in a Parks and Rec episode. They kind of allude to it. Yeah. Hannibal Buress is the one who did a joke that went viral. That's all that happened.
That's why the story came out.
That was insane to me. Like, wow.
Hannibal's been doing that joke 6 months, which is why we should take cell phones out of comedy clubs. But that's a totally separate issue. But it was a joke, And then it put it out there, and people were like, wait, what happened? Because when the court case did come and he settled that case, it was done very quietly.
Yeah, very quietly.
I heard about it when I joined comedy.
Like how I think this was just really freaked me out because now it makes me it's really disheartening to know that someone of that kind of power like abuses it in that way. Obviously, it happens all the time, but it's like, okay, when Bill Cosby does that with these many women, it's really frustrating because I very much. I guess with all this information, I do believe these women, but I think the way they're telling it, like somebody asked one of the women that were in a CNN special a couple days ago, what do you want to happen to Bill Cosby? And instead of them to say, you know, I want justice, I want him not to do it again, they were saying like, I want his Emmys stripped and I want him to suffer the way I suffered. And those are real things, but I want his doctorate stripped. Why does that matter? Who cares?
Because, well, first of all, it's happening anyway. They've already taken the name
off.
Temple is already.
Because you're building up a person who wasn't a good person who did this awful thing, and you're letting that into your like. There's no. Oh shit! What's his name?
It's the same reason.
There's no D.W. Griffith film at school for a reason. It doesn't matter that Birth of a Nation is an awful film that we all study in film classes. If you ever taken it, it's the most racist shit you'll ever see.
Right.
But there's no. Even though he pioneered all these techniques of zoom and different editing techniques, we don't put his name on a building because he was an awful racist. I'm not saying them. Yeah, no.
It's the same reason that Joe Paterno, why his name had to come off of so much stuff at Penn State.
Yeah.
But we're okay with that.
I'm not saying I don't know. I don't know the answer to all of it. I'm just saying I think it's just interesting the time it came out. I know I was very skeptical at first because, you know, he was about to get the contract with NBC. He had all this stuff in the works. It just seemed too weird. Like, you know,
let's go back to that. Let's go back to that because that is a good point. Everyone who wanted to say something in support of Bill Cosby, if you wanted to say something in support of Bill Cosby, cool. I didn't say anything on either side because obviously just it's so much to take in. But at the same time, everyone who would say, well, why now? Why are these women coming out now? A lot of these women came out years ago.
Yeah.
But how did it happen? How did it trickle back at this exact same time?
Hannibal Buress put it out there. Yeah. And by putting it out there as a joke, people were like, how could he say that? And then it gave them the power to go, yeah, he raped me.
Because Hannibal took incredible backlash for about, 2 days?
Yeah.
Well, how can he say, Hannibal Buress is no one? And I got offended at that as a comedian. Because I'm like, I've seen Hannibal Buress, and I've been following him for a long time, and I was talking to him the other week at the Comedy Store. Right. It's like, what the hell? Well, who are these people that are attacking him for saying something that I knew? People don't like to hear that you're heroes.
I mean, same thing when I don't remember his real name, but the dad from Seventh Heaven, when this came out about him. I mean, come on. People were freaking out.
That's an interesting switch because where's that story?
Why do we look at people like that and go, oh, he was on Seventh Heaven, therefore he's a great person? Because look at the Reverend from Jesus Camp. Who after Jesus Camp, after all this homophobic shit, he came out, he got caught with a gay male prostitute with meth. Like, I mean,
people are very attached to characters. We don't get to know the celebrity
behind that
we
character.
get to know the character. Well, that's a problem. That's not just an American problem. That's an international problem. Everyone attaches themselves to a celebrity. It doesn't matter where you live. I can tell you my Australian friends will tell you that. They're in the studio here today. Anyway, so with that said, we'll talk to them later. With that said, I mean, there's no reason why you wouldn't identify. I mean, do we really know Beyonce, or do we know the Beyonce we know on stage?
She's a PR machine. I don't know Beyonce.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But people think they know Beyonce because they don't understand the PR. You're in media, so you know it.
We all thought we knew Cosby. I mean, I'm in the media, so yes, I have a different take. But if I take out the fact that I've been around, blah blah blah, it doesn't matter all the parties or whatever you've gone to. If you take out the fact that you understand this world and you're just, I watched the Cosby Show and I liked it.
People don't know that. People don't know. You're right. You're right. You know that when you see Beyonce, you're going, oh, this is who her PR want her to be.
Yes.
That's not her per se. Same with Kim
Kardashian. Meeting her representative.
Take that out of the vicinity of LA,
the only people I've ever met in entertainment that I can take for word most of the time at what I see are comedians, except turns out Bill Cosby. But but most comedians are the same off stage and on stage. And actually, I hear when he meets comedians, he's very nice. I know people who've met Bill Cosby. And now they're sitting there going, I know someone with Bill Cosby on their business card for stand-up comedy.
Oh, yeah, I went to that comedy show. That was insane. He literally, he was like, I should probably take this out for it. I
need to do something with this. Has America become too much of a celebrity-driven culture?
Yes.
You know what? I would
Totally.
love
Yes.
to get thoughts on that from our international audience, but I don't know if the cameras were set up to actually show them, and they're not expecting to be on
They're
camera
in here and
today.
they're ready.
No.
They're ready.
They don't want to answer that.
The Americans want to be on camera. The Australians are like, no, we're cool.
I know. Yeah, see,
because they're better
that
than
shows it. That shows it. They're like, no, don't put us on camera, and we're like, yeah, line me up right. Make sure my
Am I
shot's good.
Is
Is my light right?
I don't want to wear headphones because my hair cute.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Oh my God, we need help. But
I'm just here on Go Tigers.
it's not only is that a beautiful question, but
Roll
the
Tide.
answer to that is, of course, we are so. That's why Paper Magazine did what they did with Kim K. That's why she's winning.
Oh, come
It
on.
is the most annoying thing to know that you can have a certain fashion sense, a certain body, a certain booty, whatever it is, and be at the level you are because of the fact that we retweet you, we comment on you, we talk about you, we're talking about her right now.
But we
Exactly.
still don't know about her because they showed the glass on the ass, but they didn't jump up and down on it. So is it like
Oh
a
my God,
Tempur-Pedic
shut up,
mattress?
shut
I'm just wondering.
up. I'm done. I'm done with this. We're done.
I'll just
No,
say
you're right
this.
though. You're right with the celebrity
but
thing.
you know, I mean,
we feed
What
it.
was
yeah.
we got so used to looking at Bill Cosby as a character and
Yeah.
America's Dad and everything that
Dad.
got told to us. Same thing with
Could say the darndest things. Come
yeah.
on, guys, who didn't love that show?
Exactly.
Oh my God, I
My
love
family watched that every week.
Yeah.
and that's not who the person is.
But
However,
they play it up really well.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
they play it
Bob
well because
Saget.
they have to.
Bob Saget, great guy from what I understand.
Oh,
I haven't
yeah.
met him yet. Everyone I know met him, great guy. And he is a great guy. But he also did a lot of cocaine back when he was doing Full House and America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
doing a lot of cocaine and drugs and alcohol, and now he's cleaned up his life.
I don't
but
get how. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't get it. I think it's just really sad that you can easily equate 95% of these celebrities with drugs, alcohol, this, that, third, some kind of therapy. some kind-
entertainment.
a rough life.
It's just a really sad realization. Like it's just doesn't make sense almost.
in American culture, I feel it does make sense because of the way we play to we have to go hard 110% all the time. So even when we party, we go nuts.
Yeah.
The reason I think we have a bigger alcohol, and I'm an alcoholic. I'm a guy 18 months sober almost. But don't clap. I can't act like an adult, so I had to go sober. But thank you,
It's
though.
still
I appreciate
something.
it. But like, it's so much excess. Like, I know people who are from Britain, or for our Australian friends, Australian, they can go to the bar and have a beer. I had to go, me and my friends went to the bar to get sloshed.
Yeah, I mean,
cultural.
It's a good point. I think it is a culture thing. I think you're right. We do go on a lot of extremes in certain things. If we're gonna attack a certain lifestyle, we attack a full force. If we're gonna do, it just is a little. I don't know if the word's depressing or sad or whatever, but with all these situations, you find out all of these people. I mean, that whole "don't meet your heroes" thing. I've never said it so much in the past 6 months, and I've said it since I've been here. It's crazy.
When I met Bill Burr, I was scared. I'm like, is he going to be
Is he
the guy?
going to be that guy, or is he going to
And
be?
he was good. He was great. I was
he
really
cool.
excited to meet him. But I wonder, because every time you meet someone, you're like, okay,
It's
are you really this person?
I thought that about J-Lo. I really had a moment. I was like, if she's not amazing, she was amazing. It's fine.
Yeah, she was going to be
I have some
amazing.
bad stories
She's
about her.
fine.
But she was
I don't
also.
want to hear them.
I won't
ever.
tell you.
But she
Go
was
ahead.
also on.
She
when
might
you
have
met
been
her.
on, and I was on too. So whatever.
Yeah,
She might
see.
think another day I suck, and
said,
you know
"Turn
what?
up."
If you caught me in the traffic, I might just be that girl. So anyway, that's another story.
But let's talk about something seriously just for a second, because you guys are going in a good direction, and because of our cancellation of the guests, we're kind of just taking the show in whatever direction we want.
Us.
I do like where you guys are going, but when we talk about the celebrity culture, and we're right here in LA, we're in Hollywood, we know exactly how it works. The pressure is insurmountable at times. We were just speaking of earlier today, we were talking about a couple of comics that we know that have committed suicide. And earlier this week,
I just had a friend, Alvin Shin, commit suicide last week. So, yeah.
it's not a game. And there was a nationwide example of that with the death of
Williams.
Stephanie Mosley just this week.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, with her husband Earl Hayes, who shot her, and that was right down by the Grove.
That was really
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, that was really sad. And it's so interesting because somebody actually asked me about that in terms of, because did you guys hear at the game, there was some kind of game and a guy saw a girl texting and
Yeah,
she was
heard about
texting,
that.
texting another girl and
Texting another
guy.
Yeah.
And the guy decided to tell the boyfriend, hey, like check your girl's phone, blah, blah. And somebody related that to the Stephanie Mosley case because they said that what happened was that somebody went to the husband and was like, hey, we think your girl's cheating with Trey Songz or whatever it was. And that turned in such a tragic way. So I don't know if the question is, would you want someone to tell you that secret, or is the entertainment world too big or too? I don't know where to go with that.
Do celebrities have more secrets to keep than regular people?
Oh, hell yeah.
They have so many more to keep.
I think it's just more at stake.
That's what it is, though.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily more to keep, it's just more at stake.
More at stake.
If they were just, what's dumb is if they were just honest in who they were, like Charlie Sheen, they'd be fine.
Who wants to be honest in who you are?
I do. I'm honest in who I am. I talk about being an alcoholic and depressed and all kinds of shit on stage.
That's awesome. I don't know.
That's the difference in a comedian
versus actors.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
Comedians I trust a lot because...
I'm a host... I would say more, and even then, like, I don't feel like I'd rather be on than be always real. It's like I'd rather be real with intimate people. I don't necessarily feel like that's for everyone, which is weird because now we have social media. So now on Instagram you're a certain person, on Twitter you're another person, and in the studio it's crazy.
I've always looked at it as I'm going to be me, and I'll either attract people or won't. And at the end of the day, I have to look in the mirror and go, who are you?
Yeah.
And I'd rather just be me, because if people are going to judge me for judging me, I'm just going to, whatever.
I don't think it's
judge me. I don't give a shit.
It depends on the person, though. It's not necessarily about judgment. Sometimes it's like, I mean, you put on a different person when you're at work from 9 to 5 than you do when you're at the club. You just do. That's not necessarily you not being you. I just feel like everyone has so many different sides to them. There's no way that there's one version of you.
But because of that, like, we don't go over like, I've been open now. I'll talk about it. I've had to deal with suicidal depression most of my life. Most of my life since I was a teenager. And I know this is weird, sorry listeners, but the reason I started talking about it is because I went and Robin Williams killed himself, and I saw a guy get up on stage, and then afterwards everyone's talking like, how could he do that, blah, blah. Why couldn't he just be happy? And I was sick of listening to everyone pretend like this isn't a thing. And then people killed themselves. A couple weeks later, another friend, Jake, killed himself, and that same dude, I don't want to call him an asshole because he doesn't know that he was being an asshole. He was like, I wish there was something I could do. And it's like, why would Jake go to you? He just heard you trash Robin Williams.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So why aren't we being more real? And it's because we're scared of being vulnerable. That's really it. And once you get out there, it's fine. No one, if anybody's mad at me for being depressed, go for it.
But the thing is, vulnerability, that's pretty much the basis of it, I feel like. But also, we are clouded right now. If you ask me if we were real in the 90s, probably. If you ask me if we're real, even if you ask me if we're real now, when you have 5 different versions of you, I'm not the same person I am on Facebook that I am on Instagram that I am on Twitter.
I'm the same person.
I mean, I just mean in terms of like, as small as what you upload. You upload certain pictures to Instagram that you don't you put on Facebook. You do certain things on Twitter because you have 140 characters say here versus a whole paragraph saying on Facebook. True. That's just what I feel like. That's the environment we live in. Not it's not on purpose. I don't think people are like trying to not be real.
I think people want to create versions. This is my bullshit opinion, but I think people want to create versions of themselves to be likable and for people to like.
Right.
And that's the issue. And we lose a lot of like humanity and the problems that are going on, and we lose that because if I don't know, I had no idea these guys had these problems. Actually, if I listened to one of their acts, I should have known better. But I mean, I wasn't really close, really close. I saw them at the clubs and I saw them at bar shows. I should. What am I going to do? Like, they didn't ever talk about it in public. So how is anybody going to know? Oh, this guy might need help.
Yeah.
They were happy every time I saw them.
Working. And it's not just, I don't want to just hold this down to entertainment because it goes across the realms.
Sure.
But I will say that trying to be a celebrity and being a great celebrity or a good celebrity or a well-known celebrity, it's like an extended first 2 dates.
Yeah.
You're still being your representative way past the due date.
Right. It's really insane. You'll see some of these people and their publicist runs them, their manager, they're this. And it's hard. And it's funny because Beyonce actually came out with some, and I like her, but it's not like I'm a huge fan necessarily. I'm not obsessed or in the Beehive or whatever they people. Nobody do not hit me up on Twitter. Do not do it. I love her. Right, and the Beehive's about to come everywhere. I can feel it. But she's a wonderful performer and all that jazz. But she came out with a video today about, and it was so it felt really real to me for the first time because it was very. She talked about being famous, and she said that the hardest thing for her to do now is do the most simplest things, like go out, hang out with her daughter. Like she gets really frustrated when she can't just take her for a walk, this kind of thing. And she was saying that as a famous person, you become a part of the you're just like a puppet to the public, and it's so weird because I'm thinking like, can't you just decide like I don't want to do the show today, or is that like crazy? Why not?
Because you have an obligation.
Yeah. Too much money.
People are counting. I mean, they put so much pressure on these I mean, like, in a way, though, this is where I get torn. Because they kind of chose that. In a way, like, there's a thing. You chose
to be successful. You didn't chose to be, like, unhappy and depressed.
Chose it. In America, when you chose to be the biggest pop star in the world, you chose that. You just do. Zach Galifianakis is the first one. I keep bringing it back to comedians, but Zach Galifianakis had an interview recently on Bill Maher, I believe it was, and he talked about how he doesn't like being a celebrity. All he wish he could do is go act, and he goes, "But I didn't choose those movies. If I had chose if he had just stuck to movies like Visioneers and underground movies, no one would know him. But he chose to do The Hangover." Then he chose to do The Hangover 2, and now he's one of the biggest people out there. Right. So even though he's an introverted, shy guy, now he has to deal with that.
Yeah, you have to. It forces you. Too much money.
He recognized it. He goes, that's what I chose. I chose to do it, especially after the success of The Hangover.
Right.
He knew what Hangover 2 and 3 were going to bring.
He was like, crap. I'm famous.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rome, keep us going.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We'll keep rolling. Because we do talk a little bit of politics here, I want to throw it to a political story for just a couple of minutes. And then we're going to talk about something else that I do want to hit before we end the show. So, Nando, if you're in there, give me when we got 15 minutes left so I can make sure I don't miss this last topic that I want. But basically this week Congress, pick up my paper so I can make sure I read it. Congress was set to pass a government spending bill that weakens a provision of the Dodd-Frank Act. Mike, I'm going to throw this to you immediately because I know this is definitely something you want to talk about. How many times will we see examples of a government working for the banks and not for the people?
Oh, as long as we have lobbyists who are allowed to throw unlimited dinners and unlimited golf trips and unlimited vacations and who God knows what else they're giving these politicians.
Yeah.
This is how it is. They snuck, what was it, a paragraph or two in a huge document that gave this exception. And what Dodd-Frank, if you guys don't know, Dodd-Frank is the thing that separates high-risk investments by banks from the lower risk investments like student loans and things like that. Right. So it kept it separate from banks. And all these guys are doing is getting greedy, trying to hoard more money. God, I hate corporations.
You really do.
I do. They're awful. And they try and they do it this. So then when they turn around and they steal our money, that's what they're doing, guys. They're legally stealing. Looking in the camera saying
how do you?
They're doing the game. The mafia. They just did the opposite of the mafia and they wrote the law.
Yeah.
They wrote this law.
I'm trying to figure out how we would know though if it wasn't covered. Like if we how do we get involved? How do we actually get
we lost the check on the government.
Right.
The checks and balances system was it was a thing of beauty, the way it was originally meant.
Right.
And the fourth check is the media. It's supposed to be, but the fourth check has failed us for the last 15 years?
Yeah, because they don't want to. They don't actually go toward anything and actually stand for things.
Because the government's like influencing what they can say and do.
But here's a bunch of stats that should scare the shit out of everybody. But here's what we've done since lobbyists have taken over. The banks have taken over the Treasury. 3 of the last 4 Treasury secretaries under Democratic presidents have had close ties to Citigroup. The vice chair of the Federal Reserve System is a Citigroup alum. The undersecretary for International Affairs of Treasury is a Citigroup alum. The U.S. Trade Representative and the person nominated to be the deputy, who is currently Assistant Secretary of Treasury, are Citigroup alums. A recent chairman of the National Economic Council at the White House is a Citigroup alum. And guess who helped the Democratic Party help pick these people for President Obama? I can't blame President Obama that much because he probably doesn't know, and they said, yeah, take these guys. That's going to help.
Throw it in.
Yeah. And that's the problem. And Elizabeth Warren is the only one trying to do something about it.
And I want to definitely commend Elizabeth Warren for taking the congressional floor and calling all of this out.
For real.
In 2016.
Can I? Really?
I would love it. I would love her, Bernie Sanders. Oh, my God.
Oh, that would be insane.
Hear this shit.
Yeah.
We're not Hillary Clinton?
No, she's too part of the system.
Yeah, she is.
Ooh,
Elizabeth Warren. Now, I will tell you, Hillary will run, and she's going to be a damn hard candidate to be.
Really dope.
If Warren ran,
but I'm interested in Elizabeth Warren running. I'm not saying that I would be completely behind her politics because I want to hear more.
Right,
you're an idiot if you don't want to hear more about any of these people. Right. But we pretty much know Hillary. We've had Hillary for 20 years now.
She's and she's part of the democratic system versus Warren, who's
fresh,
tearing shit up.
Yeah,
fresh,
making noise.
She got a little bit more
and we need someone, and I don't care if you give me flack on it. We need someone to be what Obama was supposed to be.
Yes, 100% agree.
You know what? With Obama, okay, so can I, a quick turnpike. So torture report comes out.
Yeah.
And I know, I need you to talk about this without cussing. You have to just try, because I know you're going to give me, I know, because I had my moments. And the only reason I brought it up is because Obama's comment towards it was saying this is contrary to what we believe. Did y'all see this statement?
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if I believed him or not, because he's the best sweet talker out there.
He kind of did it for 2 years.
And
first 2 years of presidency.
And Osama bin Laden wouldn't have been found if it was that contrary. Let's be real. Is that fair for me to say?
Wait, the torture?
No, in terms of because he was saying the torture was contrary to how they run things.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So would you believe that?
Let it happen kind of for 2 years, but
Or do you pardon him?
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, because that's what I was trying to figure out. I feel like I should pardon him and then be super mad at Bush or whatever the case is. But I think the scariest thing is the fact that the public knows about them, even though they know.
They should know.
You think they should know?
And if you thought this, fuck yeah, they're doing this in my name. Right now I'm disgusted. When I read that thing, I was like, I am embarrassed and disgusted to be an American right now. We are better than that. It's it goes back to
let me
no,
stop.
we are. We have been. We until the Bush administration. Until the Bush administration, we were #1 in the world when it came to. We did above and beyond the Geneva Convention. We did above and beyond UN and NATO, and Bush ruined all that.
So you think because under him he made certain
Do you think there weren't CIA black sites before that?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Torture?
I think it was better hidden.
You think it was torture against random people that we didn't even know were...
I don't think we had as many people to torture.
No, I think we've made an excuse to torture people.
Well, we have now.
That's the difference.
Yeah, we have now.
Those people that they used to go to before, generally we can all pinpoint exactly why they went after them. And you can say what you want against that. Sure.
I just think what parts of torture, I understand, I had to really put myself in their shoes. If there are people threatening my family, my friends, my country, there is a part of me that wants to make sure that you get information from them. But there is a way bigger part that can't even stomach what we went through. That's what I'm saying. So so the way that they went about it, the way they, it's a little speechless, just the actions they took and the extremes, unnecessary extremes. And to me, it's did you even know who these people are? I don't know who these people were that they were torturing, but it's did you just find them on the street and say, you look like you were involved? You look like you're involved. I just want to know who is it that you found?
It was almost like a lemming game where it was if I got Rome and I torture him long enough, if you torture someone long enough, they're going to say something.
Even if it doesn't mean anything.
So if I'm torturing Rome long enough... And it's Dick Cheney is a dick. So he was okay with it because to them they're finding the next guy. They're finding the next. No, Rome would say, "Oh, well, Stacy, she's really the person." And now we leave him alone. We come get you. You have nothing to do with this. Anything. You have nothing to do with any part of it. And that's what's been going on.
Right.
And it's all been very Machiavellian, for the greater good bullshit. Yeah. And in reality, we're just torturing people.
Yeah.
We wonder why people hate America.
There were people locked up simply for the reason of there was maybe a gripe between two people in another country, and if one of them wanted to get the other one to go away, and just go and tell the Americans, this guy, he's Taliban, this guy, he's Al Qaeda.
Yeah,
that happened.
Some of it was revenge. Yeah, some of it was I hate this guy, so when they get him, they go, I know who's doing it. I'll tell you right now. There were people going to informers without getting tortured, going, hey, go get this guy.
Why would it take Bush's 8 years plus Obama's whatever years
because
I guess,
it takes a
for
long...
Osama bin Laden. But I'm saying it's obviously wasn't working.
Well, Osama...
So what?
It's hard to say Osama was caught by...
He was not caught by torture.
By torture.
Whatsoever.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I guess that's
We went to
true.
Pakistani informants, and they're the ones who sold
They
him
had
out.
to find it. It took forever to find his courier.
It did.
And
Once
we
they
did it
found
the
that,
correct
they
way.
did
Look
it.
what we did.
Yeah.
So what do we do now? Because Bush definitely stood behind it. So I mean, what?
Well, see, the thing
I
is-
think it's hard. I just don't want to know.
We help rebuild countries, and we help them out instead of trying to police the world.
You just said the best thing. Does America want to do what it has to do to get the job done, and the public just not want to know?
Sometimes, some days
public
I
should know.
don't. Some days I don't know if I want to know because I know I could barely handle it. I mean, that was some really disgusting information, and I bet you 100% that wasn't half of it. That's
And your
that's
tax
what
dollars
really
went to it.
That's what irritates me. I don't. You didn't even give me the real full picture, even though you give me this report, whatever. It's like I'd rather not know. But then when you do know, you think like, who can you trust? What's going on in my country? I mean, you just don't really know who to relate to. I mean, this is a ridiculous way of treating people.
Well,
I don't care.
It's not though, because do you remember the Stanley Milgram experiment,
I don't.
the obedience experiment?
Oh yeah.
Oh
I know
yeah.
what you're talking
Okay. Yeah.
They do a whole look up the documentary Obedience. It's great, and it's the thing where they were like, how could these Nazi? Because some of these Nazi guys who got taken in for war crimes seemed like nice guys, and they weren't even really that. And like, how did they get these people? There's no way these guys have to be this racist. And this guy did an experiment, and what he did is he put a person in another room. And then they had a machine, and they turned it up. The thing was, you agreed to the experiment, so you had to keep turning it up every time the facilitator told you to. And the person on the other side was an actor, but he'd scream louder and louder. So you can hear the agony, and they'd be like, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want any. They go, it's part of the experiment. Do what you're told. That's how we're programmed, guys. That's how our evolution is programmed. So we have to get past that and get to the real hard parts.
Right.
Well,
Only one person didn't, by the way, in that whole experiment.
yeah. We're coming up on the end of the show.
What's the topic you want to talk about?
I did want to talk about Kevin Hart being called pretty much a fame whore by Clint
fame
Culpepper,
whore.
by a Sony film exec, Clint Culpepper. We may talk about that maybe next week, depending
we
on
do
the
2
topic.
minutes?
Talk about Chris Rock, too.
Can we do 2 minutes in the booth? Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's hit 2 minutes on Kevin Hart and Sony. Thanks to these
Obama
wonderful
as well, and
leaks.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, that's true. The Obama thing. Now, granted, I read it. I know what the I didn't write everybody's name down in that, but we've
Scott
seen.
Rudin,
yeah,
right.
we know exactly who they are. The
Right.
super producers.
Right.
We've seen them at every Oscars. What did you guys think about those jokes?
Everyone thinks I'm supposed to think it's racist, and I'm thinking Obama doesn't give a crap.
Yeah.
He's not sitting there calling Scott. He doesn't care. They were stupid jokes, and you look stupid for them being exposed, and that's it.
Yeah.
My friend literally asked me, like, what do you think? Do you think that was racist? I think it's racist. I'm like, I know you feel like I should start crying racist, but there's other things to be crying about. And, I mean, they were just dumb jokes, in my opinion.
I would have been offended if he'd have said, don't be a menace while drinking your juice in the hood. Like, if he said he was
Shut
watching
up.
that, then I'd have been like, hold up.
Oh, wow.
But, like,
That's
he
a great
said...
movie. Shut up. Now I'm offended.
He
That
said,
would be
12
tragic.
yeah, you know, if
Stop
he said
it.
that, but he said 12 Years a Slave, he said The
Yeah.
Butler.
I mean, like, those are good
What are you
movies.
talking about?
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. And I'm like, you produced them, you idiot. Like, aren't you about this life?
And you wrote Obama a
No,
check.
he does not give a shit. He cares about money.
I know
Yeah.
they do, but it's
That guy's God is money.
They're-
Any God he talks about, it's really money.
And I said earlier,
that's
I want a
sad.
candidate that to be what I wanted Obama to be, but Obama's done. He's definitely led as much as he could, as good a turnaround as he could.
He wasn't
Yeah.
ready.
with
Can we
the
all say
Congress he
that?
can have.
It wasn't his fault. This
Yeah.
was a terrible time to be
It
president.
was a horrible time.
This was a horrible
Okay,
time to be
besides
president.
that, he wasn't ready to be president. I still say that.
And Congress wasn't ready
He's come
either.
along a long
You know
way.
what's funny? He may have not have been
He
ready.
wasn't even a full term in Senate.
Hold up. He may have not have been
No, I'm
ready
kidding.
to be the president,
But he is.
Congress wasn't ready for him to be the president
I don't
either.
think Congress was ready. They
The
didn't know what
GOP
happened.
was
not
not
ready.
ready for him to be the president either.
It's
So
not
I think the
white
world
guy. Of
just-
course they're not ready.
there it is. We're gonna wrap it right there. Stace, where can the people reach out and talk to you on Twitter?
Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to Bryce for being super awesome on Twitter and Instagram. You guys can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace, at livenaomi.com, and on Wednesdays doing Blackish for AfterBuzz TV.
Cool. Mike, where can the people reach out and holler at you at?
At Michael Teemant, MIHKELTEEMANT, as you see on the screen. Also, MichaelTeemant.com. I have a show the 20th Oh no, sorry. Tomorrow night at Infusion Lounge and the 17th at Flappers Comedy Club.
Make sure you go. It's awesome.
And our soldier that's missing in action this week, Don Nash. You can reach him at Don's Daily Dose on Twitter. That's our boy.
You, Don.
Don, get back from New York,
Seriously,
man.
I miss you.
Come on.
You're not yelling at me, Don.
Yeah.
Stacy's having it.
Come back. Anyway. And my name is Rome, or you can reach me at Rome the Ruler on Twitter or Empire of Rome on IG. And this has been Black Tea Party on Black Hollywood Live. We thank you guys for listening.
See you guys next week. Thank you.
Later.
From producers Maria Menounos, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire BHL crew, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I'm your BHL announcer, Scipio. Instagram me at Planet Scipio. Thank you for tuning in.
I mean, because Kevin's...
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.